Yeah, I think they'd love to do that. I think it's easier said than done. I think teams like Milwaukee and Cleveland and Tampa, like a lot of teams, want to replicate that and not spend as much. Ownership would love that.
Sahadev Sharma joining us from The Athletic, and of course, one of the stars of Northside Territory. Go check out the podcast wherever you get your pods. Give it a listen, and you can check out their YouTube channel as well. Sahadev, great to see you. And I'm going to try and phrase this in a fun way for Cubs fans. Is there a more disappointing loss last night to the Pirates than the one that the Cubs just put up, given that they had won so many games in a row? And I know you're not going to win every game, but they have to be near perfect in the games they're in control of. So was that just like another extra dagger that Cubs fans are dealing with at the finish line here?
Yeah, I think what really added the gut punch was after the game, Craig Counsell announced that Justin Steele is scratched for Tuesday night and Kyle Hendricks is starting tonight. That's really the big blow. The loss is tough. Obviously, there, like you said, there's little margin for error right now. There have been worse losses. Uh, this team has had some losses that just were kind of shocking at times, but that one was really tough. And then you add in Justin Steele out for tonight. We'll hopefully get more word on just how severe that elbow issue is, because if he's gone for an extended period of time, I mean, this is already an uphill climb. It's going to be much tougher without him.
First of all the daggers the Cubs can take, I'm for it. I'm here for it. So dagger away, okay? Throw all the daggers at him you want. Everyone that hits home, I'm here for it, okay? So, but here's the thing. Is this fool's gold what they're doing right now? Is this fooling the fans into saying, oh, we're a good team. Let's go, Cubbies, go. Because they're not making the playoffs. They didn't make it last year. They didn't sell last year. They probably should have. They're not going to make it this year. So go Cubs go, or lose Cubs lose?
I mean, I'm not sure what losing really does for them. They need to prove to ownership that they're a competitive team, to invest in the team, to continue to invest in the team. Yeah, are they making the playoffs? I'm not betting on that. Is this at least entertaining for the fans? I think so. I think it's good to have a fun September. Eric Kratz was part of a Brewers team that caught a Cubs team in 2018. They had needed a ridiculous September to do it because the Cubs played well that September, and the Brewers were just on fire. And that team was, the manager was Craig Counsell. Counsell has some sort of ability to get the most out of his players late in the season. I do believe that. Chicago is not used to this type of September where a team needs to come back and they actually do it and make the playoffs. It's usually they're in command and then they lose the lead. It's just not. Fans aren't used to seeing anything close to this. So if they do pull it off, it would be one of the first times it certainly would be the first time I've covered something like it. First time I've been around something like this as far as Chicago goes. I agree, AJ. I don't think they're going to make it. I think there's value in this, though. And I think the NL, baseball is full of mediocre teams. So to just say like the Cubs are they good enough? I think the league shows that they're good enough because I'm not impressed by many teams across baseball.
But every team has somebody or somebodies. We were just talking about the Brewers and who should be MVP candidates. If you're going to go more, and I don't hear you saying this particularly, but if you're going to say, okay, Cubs fans, this 8-2 record for the last 10 against some absolute doo-doo teams, this is real. We're going to make a run in September. Who's going to be the guy you talked about the 18 Brewers, the Christian Yelich of that month, the Ryan Braun of that month, even a reliever. Like, who's a guy that steps up on this team and is like, wow, he carried us.
As far as, when you look at August, yeah, if you look at August, it was Pete Crow Armstrong was one of them. He was absolutely amazing offensively, defensively, base running, causes havoc on the base paths. Offensively, Seiya Suzuki's having just as good of a year as most of those Brewers guys you mentioned. Just pure offense. Value-wise, he doesn't play shortstop or catcher, so he's not close value-wise. But he's having a really good offensive season. Ian Happ's putting up some of his best power numbers of his career outside of 2020 in the 60-game season. He's finally looking much more like the power hitter that he was supposed to be when he came up. Those are the guys I'd point to right away. Dansby Swanson's finally turning things around overall. Not a great season, obviously, offensively. I think Isaac Paredes needs to step up in the power department. He's starting to look more like himself at the plate the past week or so, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has a big month in the power department. They need other guys to step up because they had guys like PCA, guys like Miguel Amaya and Christian Bethencourt stepping up in August. You can't rely on that. That's just not – I don't expect those guys to repeat the months of August and September. It would just be – I mean, it would be insane if they were able to do that because that I just don't see it happening. I think guys like Seiya Suzuki and Ian Happ need to continue to be the rocks that they are in the lineup, and then guys like Isaac Paredes and even Michael Busch need to step up and have big Septembers. I'm not sure if they have that pure MVP type. I say I'm not sure. They don't have that MVP type, but they have a pretty deep lineup. And when guys like PCA and Miguel Amaya aren't automatic outs, that makes it a strong lineup 1 through 9.
I'm going to double down on what AJ asked. So not only could it be a mirage when you're beating teams like the Pirates and the Marlins down the stretch here, right? And I know last night was a loss to the Pirates, but they had a nice road trip. DC also with the Nats, giving it to them in some of those games. Do you think that this club looks at win projections too much when they're forecasting their season and building a roster? I mean, I think that's a problem in most of Major League Baseball, and it's okay to do it, but is there an over-reliance on it? And would that prevent them from going for the jugular in the free agent market? Because it's not like this team doesn't spend. They're up there in payroll. You can probably tell us better. I forgot what their number is, but it's pretty high. But it still feels like they don't really go for it and show their might in the Central Division.
Yeah, so I believe they're 9th in overall payroll. Yeah, do they act like fans want them to, or anyone should expect the Chicago Cubs to financially? I think they should be a top 5 payroll consistently. They're not. I think they may get up there every once in a while, but that's not the reality they live in. Tom Ricketts isn't going to have them be a consistent top 5, top 3 payroll. It's just not what he's going to do. You can point to the bad teams. They need to beat up on bad teams. They weren't. They were like 500 against bad teams until this recent stretch. They've swept teams like the Orioles. They've won series against the Dodgers. They've beaten good teams. They need to beat up on the bad teams and take care of business. And they've finally done that to make themselves relevant here. But I think you look across the league, like outside of the best, like the Dodgers and the Padres and other teams like the Yankees and Orioles, most of them beat up on under 500 teams. The Cubs need to do that. They just haven't. So finally doing it makes them relevant again. I think, we'll see how they are against a team like the Yankees. It's not like the Yankees are playing unbeatable baseball. That their pitching isn't very scary right now. So if they are pitching to the level that some of these teams the Cubs have played, maybe the Cubs can score some runs and continue to keep that offense going. I don't know they're not going to spend insane amounts of money to get guys like Juan Soto or Corbin Burns. They're just not going to act like that team. That's not the way this front office behaves, and it's not the way ownership wants them to behave. So I think Juan Soto solves a lot of problems for this team. I think he would be a very obvious player to go and pursue. I don't think I'm saying anything crazy there, but it's not what they do. And I don't think they're going to be a player for Juan Soto, and I'd be surprised if they're a big player for Corbin Burns. I think they're going to go in that second tier. I think they're going to make some moves. I think that it's going to look like a better team next year. But it's not going to be going out and getting the biggest superstar on the free agent market. They'll probably make a big trade too. Their farm system is just, it's kind of top heavy right now as far as guys at AAA. At some point, you got to move some of these guys or call them up.
Congestion from sinuses, allergies, or a cold can be all-consuming.
That includes snoring for me. But Scotty, I found some relief from Navage Nasal Care. You've got to try this. Navage makes breathing easier. My Navage unit is a game changer for clearing my congestion fast.
Yeah, Kratz, Navage uses that smooth saline flow and nasal suction to clear those nasal passages.
It works for me, Scotty. I've noticed a huge difference since I started using Navage. I'm breathing better and the whole family is pumped that I've got the snoring under control.
We want to help you get relief from your congestion too. Our listeners can order a convenient Navage starter pack, including a nose cleaner with batteries included and 30 original salt pods. Everything you need to get started. Plus, get a cleaning kit as a free gift with your order, but only going to our exclusive URL, navage.com/FAL, and using our promo code FAL. Again, to order your Navage free cleaning kit and for full product details, go to navage.com/FAL. That's promo code FAL at navage.com/FAL.
Okay, so I was going to ask you this question anyway, but now I'm going to add to it. What's the difference between the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers over the last several years? And I know the Brewers haven't won a playoff series since 2018, so it's no perfect team by any means. But this year they've certainly ran away from everyone in the division. But here's where I'll go further. Did the Cubs think that they can create a Brewers-like atmosphere by bringing in someone like Craig Counsell and being able to win at the margins, and that ultimately will make each win cost less, just like the Marlins are saying, hey, Peter Bendix, blink and make this Miami Marlins franchise the Tampa Bay Rays?
Yeah, I think they'd love to do that. I think it's easier said than done. I think teams like Milwaukee and Cleveland and Tampa, like a lot of teams, want to replicate that and not spend as much. Ownership would love that. It's just not that easy. It's not one person. You can't bring in Craig Counsell and say, okay, do what the Brewers do. Share all the secrets. They brought in Carter Hawkins from Cleveland. Share all the pitching secrets. I don't think that's realistic. Listen, I think they have some good minds, and Craig Counsell is one of them. Do I think they can replicate what the Brewers are doing and spend a little bit more than them? I think that's what they want to do. I think Craig Counsell has some ideas of how to improve things, and I think we'll start seeing that in the off season. What do the Brewers do a lot of things really well, right? The R&D stands out. Their player development, like their pro scouting, they're able to find relievers that nobody else wants. They're able to make shrewd trades. That they're very, they pounce in moments to get someone like William Contreras. They added Willy Adames for, I believe, a pair of relievers a few years ago in a very early season trade that you just don't see moves like that. They were aggressive, and they added a guy. I mean, these are the two guys you guys are just talking about for MVP candidates, and they were trades that overlooked pieces of trades. It's remarkable how often they are able to do things like that. I think that's what they want. They've looked across, they've looked up north and seen the Brewers repeatedly outplay them with what they believe has been lesser talent since about 2018. They've done it over and over and over again, and they've wanted what they do. With a little higher payroll, not Dodgers payroll, not Yankees payroll, but still higher than the Brewers. You would think that they'd be able to do more. Maybe that's coming in the years to come. It hasn't happened yet. So, whatever the Brewers are doing, it's working, and they deserve all the credit in the world and should be up there with one of the best organizations in baseball as far as doing so much with, a mid-level payroll, if not lower.
Right. And obviously this offseason was not fun for Brewers fans when they lose Corbin Burns via trade and they lose Craig Counsell via free agency. So you can get a lot more of this, in the offseason, but even right now, Sahadev Sharma and Patrick Mooney running Northside Territory. There it is. Multiple episodes weekly, a glimmer of hope here in September. It's better than some teams can say. I know Giants fans are pissed. We don't have a show for them right now, but they're not contending this month. The Cubs could make a run here, but anyway, you can get this wherever you get your podcasts and check out their YouTube channel as well for the audio version on there. Sahadev, thank you very much.
Hey everybody, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.